The locals of Oakhaven didn't have a name for the woods on the eastern ridge. They simply called it the boundary, as if acknowledging that beyond the tree line, the rules of the natural world no longer applied. Elias, armed with a high-end DSLR camera and a profound skepticism of small-town superstition, saw only an opportunity. He crossed the boundary at exactly 3 p.m. By 3:15 p.m., he realized the birds had stopped singing. The transition wasn't gradual. One moment, Elias was surrounded by the crunch of dead leaves and the distant hum of the highway. The next, it was as if a heavy velvet blanket had been dropped over the world. The silence was absolute, heavy enough to make his ears ring. The trees here were ancient ash and oak, their trunks thick and twisted, like arthritic fingers gripping the earth. Their canopies interlocked so tightly that the afternoon sun was filtered into a pale, bruised twilight. Elias raised his camera to frame a particularly gnarled oak, adjusting the aperture. But as he peered through the viewfinder, he froze. Through the lens, the deep grooves of the bark didn't look like wood. They looked like stretched, graying skin. He lowered the camera, blinking rapidly. Just an optical illusion. Whose shadows? Then the whispering began. ... Elias. ... It wasn't carried on the wind, because there was no wind. The voice seemed to seep directly from the damp, rotting earth. It was soft, brittle, and sounded exactly like his own voice. Panic is a slow poison. Elias checked his compass, intending to head back west toward the highway. The needle spun lazily in completely erratic circles. He swallowed the lump in his throat, turned around, and began to walk in the direction he thought he had come from. 10 minutes later, he stopped cold. Staring at the damp ground, he found a fresh set of footprints. They were his own. But they weren't leading away from the forest. They were walking deeper in. He broke into a panicked sprint. The woods didn't just respond. They awoke. The massive trunks groaned aloud, violently shifting to close the gaps between them, funneling him down a suffocating, predetermined path. Roots the size of pythons breached the soil slick, with black moss sand snapped at his ankles like living traps. One caught him. He went down hard, his camera violently smashing against a jagged rock. The impact sent a spider web of cracks across the lens, and a malfunction caused the flash to fire on its own. Flash! In that split-second burst of blinding white light, Elias saw them. Dozens of tall, slender figures were standing just inches away, perfectly still, their hollow, bark-like faces all angled directly down at him. Then, the light died. The pale twilight wasn't just gone. It had been instantly snuffed out, plunging him into a suffocating, pitch-black void. Before Elias could even draw the breath to scream, a freezing, earth-caked hand gently clamped over his mouth in the dark.